Hi everyone! Welcome to Spilling the Tea with Susie, Season 3! This is the first episode of Season 3. Did you know that, Rob?
I did not know that.
Well, there you go. Welcome. Thank you so much for being here and for rescheduling with me. I know we were supposed to do this in Season 2, so I really appreciate that you were able to make time for us for Season 3. Welcome. And everyone, please say hi to Rob Jones, the voice actor for Joe Hardy in the Nancy Drew games.
Hi, everybody.
Oh my gosh, you sound just like him.
Only when I do that.
He sounds just like you. Welcome. Thank you again so much. I am so excited to get to meet you. This is my cat. His name is Salem. Season 3, let's go. Hi, Laura. Hello, everyone. Welcome in. I know I didn't really hype this season up very much. I just kind of dropped it on y'all. All right, so new things. I am on YouTube. Yes, you're welcome, because I got monetized on Twitch and you guys were getting ads, so that was no fun. So no ads for you guys tonight. You get to watch completely ad-free. You're welcome. Another new thing, we have a new background music compilation. It is by the very talented Tori Piano on Instagram. She is amazing. Her piano music is just so incredible. And this is all Nancy Drew covers. So definitely go check her out and give her a follow. She's hilarious as well. So that's super fun. Otherwise, oh my goodness, let's welcome Joe. So thank you again. Oh my goodness, I am so excited. I have questions for you. I have questions that the community from the Nancy Drew fandom has sent in. Lots of people have requests of lines from Joe that they want you to say.
Okay.
So why don't you go ahead and give us a little life update. Tell us how you're doing.
Oh man, life update. So, in addition to voicing Joe Hardy, which I've done for a long, long time, and we'll probably talk about that later, I'm guessing. I've had a very busy corporate kind of career in the real estate and construction industry. Recently quit my job and decided to just tick off a bunch of bucket list items. So I've been traveling, traveled throughout Europe, and did a bunch of other kind of things, and have been working on my house.
Ah.
So yeah, life update. So right on schedule. Kind of a break. So.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome. I'm so glad for you. I've been following along on your travel vlogs you've been doing on Instagram. That has been so exciting. You've seen some really amazing stuff lately.
Yeah. Europe is so amazing. I mean, one of the coolest things to me about travel is getting to see all the different kinds of people and cultures.
Mm-hmm.
And what I like about places like Europe, as opposed to the U.S., the U.S. is very big and spread out. Everything in Europe is very close, but within, like in Switzerland, for example, you could be 20 minutes from people who are only speaking French or only speaking German, and their cultures are very different and distinct. It's really interesting and fascinating. I love people. The reason I became an actor is because I wanted to study people. So,
yeah. Oh, that's so wonderful. What was your favorite place that you went to in Europe?
Ooh. I've done, every time somebody asks me this, I kind of categorize it. It's like favorite food, probably Barcelona.
Ooh, okay.
Favorite people, Barcelona, actually. The nicest, most welcoming people. Most laid back kind of vibe was Portugal.
Mm-hmm.
Coolest history was Croatia.
Ooh.
And beauty was Germany, southwestern Germany.
Yeah.
The Eiffel Mountains and the southern Eiffel Mountains.
Beautiful. Oh,
Yeah.
That's so cool. Wait, tell us more about the food. What was the best food in Barcelona?
So I love food and I love cooking and I love to kind of figure out how to make things. So I try to make things as soon as I come home. A lot of paellas in Barcelona, and of course a lot of tapas. And just to me, the interesting thing about tapas is it's just little bites of things, and so you can afford to do something kind of a little they had what they called Russian salad, and I wasn't sure what that was, and it's really just potato salad.
Oh, okay.
I mean, it's seasoned a little differently, but it's really just potato salad like we would have at like a Fourth of July picnic, right?
Oh, wow.
Just a little bit of that, and so the variety and little bites that you can get of just the different things, and they present it so well and so quickly and right in front of you. It's just a really cool experience. And again, it's all the people, and it's I as an actor worked and lived very late. As you stay up late, and you as a corporate person, I was up very early, and so I'm kind of reverting to this late person again, I think.
I love it. All right, so tell us how you got into the world of acting.
So very first show I did, I think I was in third grade.
Wow.
It was Peter Pan.
Oh.
And I played one of the Lost Boys.
Nice.
I don't know which one.
Still iconic.
I was absolutely just smitten with the theater. I loved the rigging and the fly space, and it was an old kind of high school proscenium. So we were little kids doing something at the big school, and that was kind of cool. And then just being on stage and getting laughs.
Yeah.
In retrospect, the laughs are because you're a little kid and you're awesome. So that's why I got my start. And then there was a really active kind of youth theater program where I grew up. I grew up in Sun Valley, Idaho, which if you don't know, it's a ski resort and it's a summertime resort as well. With a lot of wealthy people, and because of that, you get a lot of funding of the arts. And so we had a really good program for youth theater. And so I was really starting the next year, I started doing shows, and every summer we would do a show, like an outdoor show.
Yeah.
And so we did A Midsummer Night's Dream, and we did Alibaba and the 40 Thieves, and we did, I can't even remember what else we did. All the way through, I did that up until I was like 16.
Okay.
And I was really, really involved in theater in high school and then in college, and ultimately moved to Seattle to go to Commerce College of the Arts, to go to the acting program.
Nice. Wow.
Ultimately how I ended up in Seattle, yeah.
And you stayed.
And I stayed. Yeah,
nice.
It's been 32 years, I think.
I love that. Did you do musical theater?
Very little bit.
Okay.
And in retrospect, I think I really enjoyed it when I was doing it.
Yeah.
But moving to Seattle when I did in the 90s, there wasn't a lot of musical theater happening unless you were in the professional realm.
Yeah.
And I wasn't there yet. A lot of fringe theater, so it was a lot of new works. And so I was working with a lot of emerging playwrights. That was super fun for me. So I debuted a lot of plays, a lot of first productions, and that was a lot of fun. And I did that really until like the early 2000s. So kind of overlapped when I started doing the Nancy Drew, then my professional career kind of took off, and I've not done as much. So I do festivals here and there, little weekend, quick 10-minute play kind of things.
Yeah.
And get together with my friends and do things. But
that's awesome. Yeah. So how did you break into voice acting then?
So the very first thing I did was Joe Hardy.
Oh.
And it was a group of us were all on a show together, and I think somebody had been cast, really like legitimately had gone to tryouts and cast, and there was some I don't know what the deal was. They needed a bunch of people on short notice, and so a bunch of us went in and read through and were hired on the spot.
Wow.
So that was kind of the first couple of games. Yeah. It was more complicated than that. Obviously, it's 20 years ago, but it was pretty quick. It was a very quick kind of process. The whole thing has changed a lot.
Yeah.
The technology that they record us with has changed a lot. It's all different.
I can imagine. Well, your first game being Secret of the Scarlet Hand was in 2002, so that was a while ago. Sorry, everybody. Aren't we all so old? So that's really cool. Did you how did you end up remaining with Her Interactive? Did they just keep you on board, never no questions asked, or?
Yeah, I've always just kind of stayed in contact with them, and whenever another game comes up, they always reach out and ask if I'm interested, and I always find a way to make it work because I like doing it and it's fun, you know. It's a cool little world to kind of be a part of, and So I always say yes.
I love that. Well, we have loved you as Joe. Joe has had some of the best one-liners in all the games. Like, every time we have the Hardy Boys, I just love those games more. And I'm not just saying that because I'm talking to one of the Hardy Boys right now. Like, I love me some Hardy Boys in the games. Next question is, have you, and I think we've talked about this a little bit before, have you played any of the games?
Yes. So early days, I played the first 2 or 3 games that I got. I have to admit that I'm terrible at playing games. My follow through is bad, and I get frustrated very easily, and I run up against walls, and game logic is. There are people who are really good at that. I am not one of them.
That's okay.
So yeah, the first few, but I haven't many of the subsequent ones. And a lot of that is just life.
Yeah.
It's just time. My family is growing and busier.
Yeah, absolutely. That is so fair. Did you enjoy the experience at least? Like when you tried to play?
Totally. Yeah, of course. It's fun, you know. Yeah. It's a lot of fun. It's hard. Like did I enjoy the experience of hearing my voice? No.
That was the next question.
Yeah, not at all. I don't think anybody ever really likes to hear their own voice.
Yeah.
It is helpful that it's not. I mean, you were saying earlier when we were talking. It is my voice. It is and it isn't. You know, there's a thing I do with my voice when I do Joe, to try to make him younger and more of a smart aleck and all of those things. But yeah.
I love that. Okay, are you aware that Joe has one word that is his most famous quote that, like, people go rabid over? Are you aware of this?
No.
Okay. I can't believe I get to be the person to tell you this. So, in one of the earlier games, it was game 13, Last Train to Blue Moon Canyon, Joe enters the taffy shop where Nancy is and says that he needs to go get a cheeseburger, and Frank incorrectly says after a conversation that they need to go get a hamburger, and it like really zooms in on Joe's face and he just says cheeseburger. And when I say people go feral over that, like, it is one of the most favorite things that anybody has.
Interesting.
Yes. Cheeseburger. So when I posted that I was going to be chatting with you, I was like, does anybody have any questions for him that they would really like me to ask? Do you guys have a favorite quote from Joe Hardy? Let me know. Maybe I'll bring it up. And when I tell you, for the first 2 hours, all I got was variations on cheeseburger. That I had to go to a group chat. And I said, can you guys give me something else? Because I want to bring more to the community than just cheeseburgers. But people love how you said cheeseburger way back in, I don't know, 2005.
Awesome.
Yeah, so there you go. You're welcome. And thank you, I guess.
I had no idea. I mean, you're welcome, everybody. I too am a fan of cheeseburger as opposed to hamburger, so yes, absolutely.
Oh, you have to. Yeah. So let me actually pull up some of what I had gotten.
And these are things that people want me to say?
So lots of people asked if they could have you say cheeseburger. If you would like to go ahead, go for it.
I don't know if I can just cheeseburger. I've been battling kind of a bit of a cold too, so
that's okay.
Cheeseburger.
Perfect.
Was that right?
That was right. You can tell your wife now. You'd be like, man, they're literally like rabid over cheeseburger.
I sent her this, so she might be watching. So
oh, really? Oh. funny. Oh, that's awesome. Okay, so one of the questions that I received about cheeseburgers was, do you eat cheeseburgers? If so, what toppings would be on it?
Oh man, yes, 100% eat cheeseburgers. Usually, actually, eat like a cheeseburger salad. So I'll have cheeseburger okra salad.
Ooh.
I don't eat a lot of bread. But if I did have a burger, like a proper burger with a bun, definitely lettuce, definitely onion, definitely bacon.
Gotta have the bacon.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. All right, we can move on from cheeseburger now. Although, as a fandom, we will never move on from cheeseburger. All right, so I received a really fun question/comment from a fan named Emily, who says, you've probably answered this before, but have you ever watched the Nancy Drew show from the 70s? Because your voice has always reminded her of Sean Cassidy's Joe Hardy.
Interesting.
Right?
Absolutely have watched that. I watched it in real time in the 70s. Yeah. Loved the Nancy Drew and Hardy Boys books as a kid, and then when they did the Hardy Boys show and then the Nancy Drew show, really liked those as well.
Yeah.
I wasn't tracking that my voice sounded like Sean Cassidy's, but it's not outside the realm of possibility that I have that in the back of my head.
That you like somehow emulated
associated that tonal quality with Joe Hardy.
And what a compliment too. I mean, Sean Cassidy is amazing.
We have the same hair, clearly.
Amazing. Okay, so what else did I get from our community? Let's see. Do you remember much from like your time like recording? Do you have like certain memories from working with Her Interactive, or is it all just kind of like blends together?
A lot of, I couldn't really pick out any specific game instance in the studio or those interactions, other than early day, like that we were in one studio and the studio relocated, so it was a different studio and a nicer studio, more modern studio.
Yeah.
At one point, which is just natural course of business stuff. No, like, nothing really. I mean, I remember a lot. So yes, I have a lot of memories of being in the studio. Tons of memories of being in the studio. Most of them, all very positive, actually. I even when you get stuck on a line and you're having to do something on like the 19th take or whatever you're doing. Which doesn't happen a lot with us, actually. We've been doing it a long time, but when it does happen, it's still fun.
Yeah,
it's still fun. You're still giggling and everybody's laughing, and everybody's just really professional, and it's fun, and it's really a very kind atmosphere.
Yeah. Huh. Did you ever have anything get cut that like you had done that you wanted in, or did you ever have something that you wanted to put in that they refused or anything like that?
No, we don't see a lot of that. I'm certain that there's a lot that we do that doesn't make it in.
Yeah.
I don't know that it would be cut necessarily, because I think there's a lot that's written that they're still going to figure out as they're finalizing the game.
Yeah.
So to me, it's not about being cut. It's just about what makes it in.
Yeah, absolutely. I love that.
And based on gameplay, it doesn't sound like you're going to see all of it anyway.
Yeah, right. Because it's very easy to miss. You can skip things. You can not trigger other things. Yeah. Do you have
breakdown in playing games?
I know. Well, you told me that a couple months ago. You were like, "Oh, I'm gonna like play the new game," and I was like hoping that you got.
There's a whole story there. Yeah, I downloaded it. Yeah, I downloaded it, and then I had a hard time launching it, and then I got busy with something.
Yeah, that's okay. It's a really big game. Like it's bigger than most. I think it's bigger than any of the other games were. So
I should have loaded it on my new laptop, not my old.
It's fine. You've still got time. Do you have any influence over like the creative development of your character?
No, not really.
Mm.
I would say as an actor, uh, it's very rare that you have a lot of influence over over your character, other than the voice, obviously, the way he speaks. Um, Obviously they seem to the community seems to like it, and they seem to like it at her interactive, which is great. Um, yeah, so that's what I bring is I bring that knowledge and that the memory of doing that voice, and I think that there's a specific energy too with Joe. It's not just the voice. There's an energy with the voice that you bring, and yeah. But no, not a lot of creative input. There have been times that we've been asked to improvise lines, or but it's usually more like not expletives, but exclamations.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, I had been talking with Lonnie, who was the longtime voice of Nancy, and she said that she would give like one word like 12 different ways often, which just sounds insane to me, but I'm not a voice actor.
Yeah, definitely. You've got to get it right. And the thing that's weird about voice acting is you're not, and I think this goes with film acting too, as opposed to stage acting. Stage acting is pretty linear. You have your cue, you set up, and you do your thing. And with voice acting, it could be out of sequence. You may not necessarily be doing everything in order. You may not have full context for what you're saying all the time.
Yeah.
And part of the fun, again, of working with her interactive is working with the director, who's giving you that kind of that feedback to craft that sound that fits with the vision of the game.
Yeah. So. That's so interesting. I love that. So you, and correct me if I'm wrong, you worked in a studio like with other voice actors, right? Like you and Jonah, I believe, who did the voice of Frank. Were you in the studio together?
Yes, we're always in the, well, I don't know if we're always in the studio together, but we're usually in the studio together.
How was that? How was working with the other voice actors?
Oh, way better than doing it by yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've done other kind of voice actor work where you're by yourself, and it's just and you're reading against somebody in a booth who you can't see very well because there's a glare, or maybe sometimes not even see at all. It's just harder. With Jonah and I, we're typically set up so we can see each other, and we work very well together, and it's really a lot of fun. A small world with social media and everything. You're friends with somebody on social media, so I keep up with him in his life, and he with my life. We only ever really see each other when we do this, so we catch up.
Oh, that's so fun.
It's really great. It's great.
I love that. Oh, I've been trying to get a hold of him. He has not gotten back to me yet. Oh, that's so cool, though. I love that you guys get to hang out and record together. So you've never worked with him like elsewhere, just with Her Interactive?
I don't know. I mean, I knew Jonah far before either of us were involved in Nancy Drew. Or with Her Interactive, through the theater community here in Seattle.
Oh, yeah.
I don't remember, honestly, if we've ever done a show together, or if I've seen him on stage. And vice versa.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
How neat. I love that you guys know each other in real life, and now you are fictional brothers. That's wonderful. All right, let's see. What else did I get from our community? Besides voiceover work, what other talents or skills do you practice using?
Do I practice using? So I, as a creative outlet, because acting requires other people typically, and certainly like during COVID, it was really hard. And then when you have a day job, it's even harder. So for creative outlet, I'm a photographer.
Oh, cool.
So I do a lot of photography, mostly like outdoors, animals, raptors, birds. I like things that are dangerous, so snakes.
Nice.
Crocodiles. I like to travel, so I got to go places where there are the things that are dangerous where I can do them. So yeah,
Yeah.
and travel.
Yeah.
Travel really, whether it's domestically or internationally. I really like to travel. I like to be in different cities and just meet new people, and
Yeah.
I really like that process.
Yeah, that's wonderful. So how did you get into photography?
It dovetailed about with the time that I stopped doing theater as much.
Oh.
The last year that I did theater as kind of a real gig. It wasn't my primary. I mean, I had a day job, but I barely had a day job. In fact, got laid off that year. But I've acted in 5 shows. The swords behind me are really my stage swords.
Oh,
So
I
I did
love it.
stage choreography, and so I choreographed 13 shows that year, and saw a bunch of theater as well. And I was really burned out, and so I took some time off from theater. And but what I realized was I really missed having a creative outlet. And getting those juices flowing, and so that's why I started doing photography.
Yeah.
It was just a time of my life that became more solitary. I think there was some family stuff too. I took care of my grandmother, who was 99 when I took her in, and almost
Wow.
passed. So I spent a lot of time by myself. So photography was my outlet.
Nice. So you're self-taught.
Yes.
Wow,
Yeah. Mostly. Yes. Sort of. I mean, I'm friend taught. I wouldn't say I'm self-taught. I've learned from a lot of really great photographers.
Wonderful. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you do digital or film photography?
Digital.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm more of an immediate gratification person. I used to shoot film too.
Yeah.
But I also still have dozens of undeveloped film canisters, so I have no idea what's on them.
Same. Same. I love photography of all forms, but there's nothing like film photography and you get the film back and you're like, oh, this turned out wonderfully. But it takes a lot and it's expensive unless you have your own, of course, studio to to have a dark room and do all your own stuff, and that is not something that I can do. So next question. If you were a detective in real life, what would be your best skill?
I'm really observant. So I think I would just pick up on visual cues, probably.
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah. It's all that actor training.
There you go. Do you have any tips for people wanting to break into voiceover work?
Ooh, boy. I don't know. I don't know if I have any good tips. I would say with anything in the creative endeavor is don't give up.
Yeah.
Keep doing it. Get a reel. Keep it current. I'm saying all these things that I actually may not be following, but really get a reel. Make it current. Be out there. Be annoying. Frankly. What you feel is annoying is actually just getting your foot in the door.
Yeah.
It's expected. It's part of the business. That's certainly what I would tell a younger me in the business.
Yeah.
I would probably still be way more involved in the business, frankly, if a younger me had hung on to some of that a little harder. It's a hard business. Acting is a hard business. It's really anything in the arts. It's a really hard business.
Yeah. Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it's rewarding. It's super rewarding. We were talking earlier about what got me into theater, and it really is making people laugh.
Yeah.
There's nothing in the world I like more than hearing people laugh when I deliver something right or do something right. If I do the right movement and somebody laughs, it's the best.
Comment we have here is, he mentioned theater. Did he say what his favorite play or performance was? Did you?
I didn't say what my favorite play or performance was. Favorite play I've seen, personally, is Hamilton.
Oh.
I've seen it 3 times. I would see it again and again and again. It blows my mind. Um, I really gravitate towards things I can't do.
Yeah.
In terms of things I enjoy watching because I just can't compare myself to it. It's mind blowing to me. So Hamilton, Hamilton on Broadway was a really
Fabulous
great
play.
experience.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And to compare the three productions that I saw together, they were all completely different, but the pacing was different. Everything was different, but it was beautiful.
That's wild.
And my favorite play that I've done, as I mentioned earlier, I did a lot of original works.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a Seattle playwright by the name of Wayne Raleigh, who wrote a series of plays called Money and Run in the late 90s, early 2000s. And I was in all of those in the original productions. And just that series was probably it. It had a following, and it was one of those shows that would sell out every Friday and Saturday night. And it was really a fun experience. And it was really funny, and it was the most fun I've ever had on stage.
That's so wonderful.
Yeah.
I love that. Oh, hello, Kalina. I already asked all of your questions. Sorry. Next question is, if you have a favorite memory from recording with Jonah.
Probably not a single favorite memory. What I really like about working with Jonah is when one or the other of us is struggling with a line, and it happens. Like sometimes you get hung up on the word "and." I mean, it's just the stupidest thing, and it's a word you can say all the time, but you can't do it. Or sometimes it's a particularly difficult turn of phrase that you've got to get the pacing right, and you need to practice it. Either way, it can be really funny, and so it's those moments of trying to support the other actor through the glass and having try not to break, so you're supporting them, but it is funny. And so those moments where we're making eye contact, it's like, you better not break, don't break. Whether it's him about to break or me about to break, it's that moment of. So again, it's those moments, because they happen probably every time you do it. Yeah.
Oh, I love that. That is so fun.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see. What other questions do I have for you from our community? Was there a game that you can recall was the most fun to record for, like had the best lines or something, in your opinion?
No, I don't think so. Yeah. I don't think so. They all have had a flow that worked within that storyline, that's individual to those pieces. So they're all different, but yeah, there's not one that I would say was more fun or better to do. Better can be subjective too. It's not always the story that you're delivering that's the best story. As the actor doing it, it's how easily can I get through it without making myself laugh, or how can I do this without sounding stupid, if it's tricky one, so.
Yeah. We have Kalina in chat who worked for Her Interactive, and she says she was in person in the studio when both you and Jonah recorded for Labyrinth of Lies, and she says she felt bad for you when she handed you guys the script and you were trying to say word imagination. That was an underrated quote to say the least.
Yep.
Wonderful. No, I haven't asked him about Deirdre. Do you know much about the climate of like relationships between the characters in the games?
In the moment when I'm doing it, yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, there's definitely a sense of that, and when there's not enough dialogue, because really what we see is our dialogue.
Yeah.
When there's not enough dialogue on our part, they'll fill in the blanks so we can understand the context.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
And how, who people are.
Gotcha. So, unfortunately, something that a lot of people put a lot of stock in is like who they think that Nancy Drew should be dating. Obviously, she has a boyfriend already, which is Ned, but a lot of people think that she needs to be with Frank. And a lot of people have asked me who you think Nancy should be with, whether it be Ned or Frank. Do you have an opinion on that?
I mean, all things being hypothetical, you know, I think it's something that Nancy needs to decide for herself.
Yeah, seriously.
You know, you know, and I think, you know, she can't just go be with Frank. She's got to break it off with Ned first.
Yeah.
And you know, I try to stay out of other people's relationships. How do I walk this tightrope? Yeah, no, I think that Nancy should be with whoever makes her happiest.
There you go. That was a really good stance to take. That was like, I just like set something on fire and you like blew it out. I love it.
I mentioned the actor training before. That's the corporate training.
I love it. Oh my goodness. All right, so changing tracks. Is there, like, if you could voice anything, what would you want to? Like, if you could go back and like voice anything, not even something that like wasn't an opportunity for you, but like if you could have done anything, what would you have loved to have done like voice acting for?
Oh man. I think there have been so many great opportunities for actors to do voice work in film, you know, especially with the MCU, the Marvel universe. You know, like the I Am Groot thing, or Bradley Cooper doing Rocket in Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah.
You know, God, I don't know about any one that I would like to do. I like to do voices.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not. I don't think I'm particularly great at it. You know, I know.
Okay.
I mean, there are people who are like crazy good at it, like Seth MacFarlane.
Yeah.
You know, who is you know, genius level voice savant. You know.
Mm-hmm.
So I can't really do that, but I do like to play with voices. I like to, you know, and the way that kind of creeps into life for me is I like language.
Yeah.
And so I'm always kind of trying to learn words and languages.
Oh,
you know?
cool.
Yeah.
Are you like bilingual, or you just like learn here and there?
So I took French in from middle school through college.
Mm-hmm.
So I was fluent in French at that point.
Wow.
But then I didn't speak French for 15, 20 years. I understand it very well. I speak it okay. But here in the U.S., obviously we have a lot more exposure to Spanish.
Mm-hmm.
So I've gone to Mexico a lot more because we're closer.
Mm-hmm.
So I speak a little bit of Spanish.
Mm-hmm.
And then just on my trip, I tried to learn words, German, Croatian, Portuguese. I found by the end, actually, I was saying grazie, in Portugal. I was like, I didn't even know where I was saying thank you in a language from a country I hadn't even been to on the trip.
Like, what is he doing? That's great. Oh my word. I love it. Let's see. You've already answered that one. I had a lot of people send in questions, so give me a moment here. Nope, that's not it. And they all came on different platforms, and I did not put them all together. I was not prepared. Remember when I told you I prepared for this 3 minutes beforehand? All right. How does it feel to voice the same character since 2002?
Awesome. It's every time I step into the studio, it's like when you see an old friend and it's like no time has passed.
Yeah.
It doesn't take me very long to get back into the voice.
Mm-hmm.
Because I do have to get back into the voice. I have to kind of raise my timbre a little and stiffen my vocal cords and stuff. But yeah, it's really nice.
Yeah. What's the most fun thing about voicing Joe, and also the most difficult thing?
The most fun thing is getting to just being sarcastic.
Yeah.
He's sarcastic. I think that's the most fun. I think it's also kind of the most difficult. I think balancing that that bit of sarcasm that he always has with genuine caring, whether it's for Frank or Nancy or whoever he's talking about. He genuinely cares.
Yeah.
You know, you can really tell that he cares, and so making sure that you portray the caring with the sarcasm as well.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. That's so genuine. So, do you have any other voiceover jobs that we don't know about, since IMDb is pretty much just Nancy Drew?
Nothing that you would know about.
Okay.
As you found out, I didn't even know I was on IMDb until
I know. Okay, so everybody, just for a little context, we got on like 10 minutes beforehand just to make sure everything was working correctly. And he was like, "Oh, how long have I been doing this voice?" And I was like, "I don't know. Let me look you up on IMDb." He didn't know he was on IMDb. So that was pretty fun.
I didn't used to be for Nancy Drew. I didn't used to be on there at all. So that must be fairly recent.
I know, but like you wouldn't really anticipate it because it's like the movie database.
But it is an industry database, so it makes sense.
Yeah. You looked at his IMDb just a few minutes ago. Oh, very nice. Okay, we have a request in the chat. There's a girl who has been getting, every time I have one of the voice actors from the games come in, she has me record a line. This is my husband. Oh wait, wrong side. This is John. What?
I have some tea for you later.
Okay.
It's possibly...
Okay. All right.
Sorry, continue.
Where was I even going?
You have a friend that every time you have a voice actor...
Okay. Thank you, John. Okay, so every time I have a voice actor from the games come on, she has me ask them to say a line that the original Nancy had said, but like with her dog's name instead. So I've had several people say "Dare to Lilo." Would you say that for her?
Dare to Lilo?
Dare to Lilo. Yes.
As Joe?
Yes, please.
Dare to Lilo.
Yay! You're welcome, Southern Sleuth. All right, moving on from there. I know that was a weird one. She's had lots of people do it so far. Okay, if you could experience any like Nancy Drew or like Nancy Drew style mystery in real life, what case would you choose? Like from the games that you've played perhaps, or like maybe something from one of the shows you've watched? What would you choose to like live out your Joe Hardy dreams in real life?
Oh man. This is where my memory for titles and things like that is gonna get me in trouble.
Okay.
I as I mentioned earlier, I really loved the Hardy Boys and Nancy Drew books as a kid. I was a big reader. There was a Nancy Drew book about a haunted house, something, and I don't remember. I think it was even a game that we did.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
I might be wrong.
Okay, wait. Haunted house. It was a game you did. Which games did you do?
I don't remember. I don't remember if we did it or not now. But but anyway. So we're asking about my favorite. My favorite. So it was that story, and again, I'm not remembering specifically what I liked about it. It just was. I remember liking that story and really gravitating towards. Yeah. So I probably have it on a shelf back here, but I don't take the time to go reading around.
Everyone, send your guesses in chat. Oh my goodness.
Crooked Staircase, something?
Wait, what?
Crooked Staircase? I don't know.
Oh, the what is that one called? Oh my gosh, like, literally everything has just left my brain now that I've been called upon to use it. He was in Ghost Dogs? Oh, I don't think it was Ghost Dogs. If it was a haunted house one that he did. I don't know. We'll figure it out. We will figure this out before the end of the night. So let's move on to our next question. The hidden staircase. Oh my god. Thank you, Casey.
There was staircase. Thank you. Yes. Yeah.
Oh,
so when
man.
I read that as a kid, I loved that story. More so than the other stories, either Hardy Boys or Nancy Drew. For some reason, I really like that story, and that really stuck with me. So
Yeah.
That,
Nice.
Thank you very much, Casey. Was that who it
Yes,
was?
Casey got it. Thank you, Casey. All right. Next question is the same question. Hold on. Everybody gave me a lot of the same questions. Okay. This was another one that people have been begging me to ask you. So if you don't have an opinion, it is totally fine. But a lot of people wanted to know if you could pair Joe Hardy with anyone in the games as a love interest, who would you put him with?
I mean, I hadn't really thought about it.
I hadn't either, to be honest.
I mean, the obvious one is Nancy. I think that Joe has a crush on Nancy. I think there's, I think he admires her and looks up to her, but I think there's a little bit of a crush there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like, have you seen the newest show from the CW?
Mm-mm.
Okay. I feel like there's a Joe Nancy thing happening in that one. Which, like...
But I don't think it's the right thing. I don't think that Nancy has a thing for Joe, right? I don't think that's the thing, but I do think that Joe, Joe's got a crush on her. Joe admires her, for sure. And I think that, at that age, is that the same thing? I don't think a guy knows the difference at that age.
No, you're fine. A lot of people would put you with either, like, Bess from the games or Deirdre, which I don't agree with.
Frank
y'all
was with
know.
Nancy, then Bess would be with Joe, right? I mean, it's symmetrical.
Yeah. Jackie in chat says everyone has a crush on Nancy, and it's true.
Yeah.
Yes, it's true. It's true.
It's because she rocks.
She does. I know. We love our girl Nancy. She is a role model. Okay, so here's a question from a guy who I can tell you who it is if you need to know to answer this question. But he wants to know, within reason, are you willing to do voices for Nancy Drew inspired indie game developers?
That's an interesting question.
Mm-hmm.
Should take that one offline.
Absolutely. And he also wants to know, would Joe Hardy do a good job solving a mystery on his own, like if he had his own game?
I mean, he might enjoy that.
Yeah.
Yeah, he might enjoy that.
I think I would enjoy that.
Yeah, Joe Hardy would have a good time with that.
Oh, yeah.
For sure. There would be hijinks, though.
That would be the best part.
Yeah, the whole point would be that, right? Like, it would be just smart alecky comments all along. Yeah.
Yes. That would be the best part. Here's a question about the 70s show. What's this one? If you remember any episodes of the 70s Hardy Boys show, and you could pick one of the episodes to become a game, would you have one?
I don't remember any of the episodes specifically enough.
Yeah.
I was pretty young in the 70s.
I wasn't alive.
I know most of you weren't. Yeah. I mean, many of you were barely alive when I started recording these games.
Hey, I was. In fact, born in the 90s.
I did have my moment earlier of being worried that I was going to be on camera and like, oh no, people are going to see me that. You know, I have silver in my beard.
No, I don't think anybody cares. We're all just like, oh my gosh, it's Joe Hardy. Oh. Okay. Do you have a favorite thing about Joe Hardy that you enjoy like portraying?
I like his can-do attitude.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he might lead with sarcasm, but he'll always get it done for you.
Yeah.
He and Joe both, right? They'll always kind of come through.
Yeah.
Or if they can't, there's some good reason and a great story.
Yeah.
There's a great story usually with Joe.
Oh, we have a lot of 90s babies in chat, looks like. Okay, so enough
Welcome,
about
90s
Joe.
babies.
Enough about Joe. Let's talk about you some more. So, I received several questions about you. I've got some fun ones here. Little Miss Drew wants to know if you have any pets.
I do not. I have had pets, but I traveled a lot for work for the last several years, and like to travel personally as well.
Yeah.
And so I'm not home a lot, and so having pets is difficult. We do take in my stepson's dog whenever we can.
Yeah.
And that's really awesome. So I
That's
like
fun.
being a dog uncle.
Yeah. Perfect. That's all you need.
One of my tattoos is of my dog, my old dog. So
Aw,
I had
I
a
love
dog.
that. I love that. Okay, somebody in chat says that I need to ask you if you believe in the paranormal.
Ooh, wow. That's an interesting question. I definitely believe that there are things out there that we cannot explain, for sure. 100%. 100%. I think there are a lot of things that science doesn't know. You know, if one thing that science has taught us, in fact, is that it will continue to expand and be discovered.
Yeah.
So yeah, absolutely. In that way, I believe in the paranormal. I believe that there are things that can't be explained with current science. Absolutely. Yeah.
There you go. All right. Well, I know that in the games, Joe Hardy tends to be more of a, like, I believe in the paranormal type. So, yeah. That is very cool. So you and Joe are...
Does he just like to kind of poke that?
Well, that's a question for you.
I don't know. I think it's a good question for him too. I think he does. He definitely likes to poke it. You know,
Yeah.
That's part of his thing, is to kind of keep poking the bear. So
Yeah. Are you a coffee drinker?
absolutely.
What's your go-to coffee order?
I don't go out for coffee a lot. Usually make just French press at home. If I'm ordering, this is going to be embarrassing. If I'm ordering coffee from like Starbucks, I'll get like a venti iced caramel macchiato.
Why is that embarrassing?
It's so sweet. It's just like, it's a sugar bomb. It's like, it's like, you know, can I just get a milkshake? Should I just get a caramel milkshake?
That sounds pretty delicious, not gonna lie.
It's pretty good, yeah. But I don't do that very often. Mostly I just drink. Drink.
That's wonderful. I love that. Do you have a go-to snack that you do?
Snack.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I eat a lot of nuts. I try to eat keto most of the time.
Oh, yeah.
So I eat a lot of nuts. So cashews is really my favorite. Or pistachios.
Love it. I love it. And do you play any musical instruments or sing at all?
You know, you asked the question about musical theater, and I sidestepped it accidentally.
You did.
So I can circle around that again. If you want.
Yeah.
I used to sing a lot, and I used to sing quite well. So to answer your earlier question about musicals, I did Pirates of Penzance and Yeoman of the Guard.
Oh, wonderful.
Which I really enjoyed. Just the pace of Gilbert Sullivan. It's fun to do. It's fun to do. You know, it's a lot of fun to do on stage. I don't know if it's fun to sit through, but it's fun to do. But I don't do musicals and haven't done much beyond that. I like to sing a lot. I have a a very odd range, and that doesn't fit into anything that really works with contemporary music. So, so that's the first part of the question, was about singing, musical instruments.
Yes.
I taught myself to play guitar about 20 years ago.
Nice.
I barely play anymore. It's kind of like my French. I don't practice it. I'm not very, but I can still, I can still play a few chords. As opposed to my stepson Felix, who can just rip on the guitar. So.
Love it. Oh, I love it. Do you? Oh, okay. So Brigella from Her Interactive is asking what your favorite song from Hamilton is.
Ooh. Again, it's I don't do like absolutes.
Yeah.
I have a hard time with absolutes. Like favorite is hard for me. I love Theodosia. I don't think may not be the right name for the song, but it's a Burr song. Beautiful song. But so many moments in that, like, depends on how upbeat I want to be.
Yeah.
Do I want George Washington's rap, because that's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
The whole thing. I mean, really the whole thing.
Yeah.
Isn't it one long song?
It's just one long song, the whole thing. It's just, that's perfect. All right. And Alexa wants to know Jackie wants to know where your favorite place is to travel. Is there a place that you like to go to, like, over and over?
Yes, I like to. I am a creature of habit, and I like to go back to the same places repeatedly. For example, I've been to Costa Rica twice. Both times I've been to both coasts, both the same places.
Nice.
Love them both. But went 2 times to the country and only really visited 2 different places. I have since kind of tried to push myself out of that a little bit. So I've been to Europe. My whole trip to Europe recently was all about places I had never been. And that kind of really got me going on places I've never been. So I really want to go and do like an Eastern European trip, do like Budapest and Prague and Vienna, and, all of that.
Yeah.
Go to Albania a bit. I want to do a Northern European trip. I haven't been to Asia yet. I haven't been to Australia yet.
Yeah.
I've only been to 38 states. So I have still 12 states to get to. Yeah.
You ever been to Maryland?
I have never been to Maryland.
You gotta come over.
I know. I know. You'd think the number of times I've been to DC, but no.
I know. It's literally like this close. Well, that's very cool. All right. So that is pretty much all I have. Do you have any, like, upcoming projects that you're excited about you want to talk about before we go, or anything like that?
No, nothing upcoming that I'm working on. I'm currently working on a couple of trips, just traveling a bit. So
yeah,
I can promote that.
Yeah.
I'm going home to Idaho next week. That's fun.
Awesome.
My best friend. And then I'm going to. Do y'all want a fun fact?
Yeah.
This is gonna blow some people's minds. This is gonna be a weird one.
Okay.
Fun fact about me. I am a descendant of the original Siamese twins.
Okay.
Chang and Bunker, who are from Siam, now Thailand.
Wow.
They settled in North Carolina and married sisters and had 21 children between them. I'm a descendant of one of their daughters.
Oh my gosh.
Every summer there is a family reunion in Mount Airy, North Carolina, and so I'm going there next week.
That's so rad.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, super fun. It's really cool, and it's fascinating history if you don't know it.
Yeah.
Look them up, Chang and Bunker.
That is so wild. Like, when you said fun fact, like, that would literally have never come to my mind.
It's a weird one.
That's too
funny. I mean, in my old job, when we would do like 2 truths and a lie as part of a something that we were doing, I would throw that in there always, and it would always be picked up as the lie, and it was like,
oh, that's so funny.
Yeah.
Oh wow, that is really hilarious. Yeah. Okay, before we get off, there are some people who would like if you could say one of your lines, if you could send us off by saying ATAC forever.
ATAC forever!
Thank you. All right. Rob, thank you so much for joining me. This has been so much fun. Thank you for answering all of our questions and hanging out.
Thank you. Thank you for rescheduling and your patience and just being awesome.
Oh, thank you. All right. Tell everybody where they can find you if they want to follow you.
Oh my goodness. Instagram is probably the best place, though I don't post there a lot. And that is truly_Rob_Jones.
Wonderful. And I have that linked below. If you guys want to go check him out right now, follow that link. All right. Oh, Ginger Honey Love Beat says, oh my gosh, I'm going to cry after you said ATAC forever. I love it.
Go cry.
All right. So thank you so much again. And I hope that you have a wonderful rest of your evening. And everyone watching, thank you so much for being here. And we will see you next time. Well, I'll see you next time. Goodbye.
Bye, everybody.